Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Scrap Mechanics Solo Survival. I didn't upload or record at all yesterday, and that's because I spent a lot of time grinding, just off camera on my own, mainly using this mining vehicle, and you'll see why in a second. Because yeah, we got a lot of chests going. The storage situation I had going on was not good. I had nowhere to store things, but spent a lot of time getting a lot of metal, went looking for beeswax, all that stuff that I needed to make the chests. And now I've got a good amount. I've got it fairly well organised. And we're going to be using some of what we've got in today's episode. Because what I want to be doing today is I want to go to the new location where I plan on making my base. I want to show you guys that, kind of talk through what I want the plan to do. And I want to start making a farm there. So I've got together quite a lot of the stuff I'm going to need to use to make the farm. So what we're going to do is we're going to load up all of this onto the car. But before we go, one thing I will need to do, however, is, I think if we look in this one, I've got about 30 soil here, but the design I want to go with uses 50 per plot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drive down the road, and each little scrap town, a little few buildings on the road that often has soil in them, I'm just going to get all that until we get right up to the 50 that we need. And also in the little scrap towns, the buildings are all made out of scrap wood that you can salvage, and you can get like 1,000 plus wood each time. So I've grabbed some wood out of the chests, and we're going to take all the building materials that I plan on building and also just marking things out with, so I have an idea of where I want things to go. I'm going to take all of that with us. We'll probably take a good amount of metal as well. I'm going to go ahead, quickly do that, and meet you guys at the new base location. Okay, just to give you guys a little bit of an update, we've gone out, we've got a good amount of wood here. We're going to go ahead and quickly refine that into wood 1. We almost have enough soil. We have, let's see, we're missing 4 soil, which is fine because I can run down to the old farm and take it from there, so we don't really need that old farm anymore. I also collected quite a lot of lights, as when we move over to the new area, we're not going to have all these lights that are already here first. We're going to have to light up everything ourselves. And there's something else. Nope, I think that was pretty much it. So I'm going to go ahead, quickly refine all this, or craft all this rather, and see you guys when we're ready to move. Alright, so I've started crafting up a lot of the wood, but it is taking a lot longer than I'd expected it to. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take what wood has been crafted up so far, and I'm just going to drive down to the area, kind of talk you guys through what my plan is. What I intend to build, what I'm going to build this episode. I'll probably do a lot of the building off camera. I think I mentioned earlier, but I'm going to be making a nice farm this episode. It's going to have like an auto watering system. It's going to be 50 plots big, so it should be quite good. It'll provide us quite a lot of crops to start with. I could maybe extend it in the future. It just depends, how much room it takes. But it's going to be kind of in between this packing station and the other one, and it'll also be fairly close to the trader who's just over in that direction. So I'm still keeping close to a lot of things. I'm going kind of far from the mechanic station, but that's not too much of a problem. I mean, mechanic station's good, so you can get all the bots that you need early game, but once you've got them all, you're pretty much set. So pretty much free to move away from it once you've got the bots that you need. I did craft a second bot. You might have seen it just before I left, and I completely forgot that you needed to upgrade the crafting bot using component kits, which I'm kind of short on at the moment, and I definitely should have brought some component kits with me over here, as I will be needing to upgrade the pistons I brought, but I can go back for those later once I'm back for the wood. And I've kind of gone the wrong way, but yeah, as you can see right down here, I would normally drive in from the side, but right here is where I plan on making the base. It's not the biggest area in the world, but it's going to suit our needs pretty well. So the kind of plan is there's going to be a wall that comes from around here-ish. It might kind of tail off into the water, but it's going to come along here. The main part of the wall is going to be right across here, pretty much where this fence is. Obviously I'll have to get rid of this fence. And it's going to come right around here and go down here. And that wall is going to have some sort of defenses on the front. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to go with, but it'll probably be saw blades, and I might even have them be able to retract in and out, and I don't know. We can think about that when it comes to it, or maybe even some crushing mechanism. But anyway, the farm area is going to go about here. We should have enough room for the 50 plot one right here, and it may be able to extend probably to about here if I wanted to go to 100 plots. This area is going to kind of be the parking area where we can park our vehicles. And you guys might have noticed that I have put these little loop things on the vehicle, and that's going to be for the garage. It's going to, well, that'll come in later, but basically something's going to go into those loops and pull it up off the ground up around here. I'm going to put those on all the vehicles I have and have them stored up the way, so if the base does get breached by any hay bots, or even the big guys once we start farming more crops anyway, but if any bots do get inside, the cars and vehicles should be safe. Over in this area is probably going to be a bit of temporary storage, because the main base I want to have is going to be out in the water. There's going to be a nice little bridge that comes from here, it's going to go out. The bridge might be some sort of retracting thing that goes in or out, and I'm not exactly sure yet, but then there's going to be an elevator that goes up. The base is going to be on probably like 4 legs, maybe 8 legs if the elevator shaft goes all the way down. But that's what the blocks that we stole from the warehouse, the yellow pillars, they're going to be useful for the legs of the base. But for now, what I want to get started on is making this farm. So I'm going to do pretty much all of this off camera, because it's going to be a lot of playing around, a lot of trial and error, and it'll be kind of hard to commentate, and it won't be that interesting to watch at all. So I'm going to go ahead, get that done. I have an idea of what I want to do. I was playing around in my first world that I've got quite a lot of materials and stuff on, so I was playing around with different designs, took some inspiration from like the Scrap Mechanic Reddits, some YouTubers, kind of combined a lot of different ideas, and I think I've got came up with a design that I quite like that should be quite efficient and work really well for us. So yeah, I'm going to go do that, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay guys, so we spent a bit of time, and this is what we've got. We've got a nice little path around our farm. I quite like the aesthetics of what we've got going on. It kind of feels really like greenhousey sort of thing with these sprinkler heads. Obviously these don't actually shoot out the water, it's this, but it gives a nice aesthetic that it does. It hasn't taken up as much room as I thought I would, so I could probably fit another one in here. I also brought the new craft bot down since I thought I might as well, since I was back at the base getting, I think, the component kits to upgrade the pistons. But I've only tested it on the first 3, but I think it should work okay. We've got this sucking in water. It's showing X, but I think that's, yeah, it's just because it's full at the moment. So 50 plots, it'll use 50 each time. So this holds 100, so it could support another one just with this, but we always have the other one that's back at the old base. But we'll keep that there for now, since we'll be crafting metal and we'll need water. But it's pretty simple. I'll show you it in action. This is the first time testing it full scale with the water connected, so I'm hoping it works alright and doesn't miss any plots, but so far it seems quite good. Now unfortunately we're not going to be planting anything this episode because we have no defense currently, so in the next episode that's what I'd like to do, is get this wall built up. So in between episodes I'm going to have to do quite a lot of mining, because I plan on making this entirely out of brick and concrete, which both require the scrap stone, so it's going to be a lot of mining for me off camera. Let's check this out. This is it on its way back now, but yeah, it seems to have worked really well, so I'm pretty pleased with this. So I can kind of talk through how it works. It's pretty simple. Below here we have, what's it here? Yeah, we've got a controller, an AND gate and an XOR gate. The controller obviously controls the pistons, it moves forward, pauses at the end. It's 14 and 13 just because that's how long it is. Once it pauses at the end, this one then moves out and pushes it onto the next row. Then it retracts back, so the pistons are pretty simple. The AND gate powers this, so whenever this and the XOR gate is powered, this is going to be powered and it'll shoot water, so each time this sensor passes over one, when the thing is turned on, it's going to shoot water. And the XOR gate is connected to the button here, and the sensor on the end, which is on switch mode. So I turn it on here, it hits that and it comes back, and that turns off the XOR gate. And since the XOR gate's off on the way back, it's not going to this AND gate won't be powered, so this doesn't shoot water on the way back, and that'll really help save water, so we only use exactly what we need. But yeah, it's a pretty simple system. I took a lot of inspiration from some YouTubers' designs and also on the Reddit, and this is parts of this are my design, parts of it aren't, but I'm pretty pleased with how it's turned out. In the future, as I said, I'll probably add another one here, And potentially, I mean, if I wanted to go full scale, I could add 4 plots, but I don't think I really need to. So potentially just another 50 plots to take us to 100 in the future. But what I think I'll do for the rest of this episode is, I forgot to mention at the start, obviously we got the 3 garment boxes, the common, the rare and the epic garment box from the warehouse last episode. What I think I'd like to do is go out and find some cotton, because I don't actually have enough cotton to open them at the moment. But I'm going to go out and I'm going to find some cotton and see you guys back at the base once we're ready to open them. Okay, so we're back at the base now. We got ourselves a decent amount of cotton. I didn't quite find enough when I was out, but I do have about 11 there, which is going to be enough. We need 35 total to open all of that. So we've definitely got enough. I'll quickly show what I didn't use. This is all that I've got left over from the materials I need. I didn't need nearly as much of these as I thought, but you can keep these for builds in the future, as I really quite like using these. I think they look really nice, as you saw with the farm. I think they look really just really sleek. So I'll be using a lot of those for the garage type lift thing that I was talking about earlier. Anyway, we're going to start with the common one, and we'll just kind of work our way up and see what we can get with the warehouse loot we got. Alright, that's the common one done. Let's see what we get. A Team Banana shirt. Oh yeah, also, I think I said in the last episode that I wasn't sure if this can scroll down, but I looked up and yeah, as you can see, you can scroll down. So there's some more shirts for me to unlock, which is quite nice. That's quite cool. But anyway, yeah, we'll stick with what we've got and we'll move on to the rare box. And in the rare box we get... Well, that's quite cool. I think I've got the trousers that match that actually, so we'll have a look at that quickly. Go on that. Legs. You know, that looks alright. I still think I prefer my other outfit, but it's quite cool to have those matching, so we'll stick with that, but then we'll move on to the epic one, the big one, so hoping we get something kind of nice out of it, but we'll see. I don't know what I still have to unlock that I would like. I've had a look at all the things and there's not anything that really catches my eye other than maybe the gas mask I think looks quite cool, so we'll see. Okay, that's the epic one done, and we get some shoes. Okay, that's not too great, but it's not too bad, I guess. I'm sure that'll go with some sort of outfit that we can complete in the future, but not the greatest thing from an epic box really, is it? But not to worry. But lastly, the last thing I want to do before we finish today is I completely forgot to put these lights down at the farm. I'd like to have some lights actually inside the farm so that it's nice and lit up at night time. And I picked up these, the paint ammo, because I think it would look quite nice if we just gave some of the things a little bit of a paint job, and we'll play around with it and see if we can get it looking even nicer. Okay, so I think this is how I'd like to space out the lights along this wall. It's turning night now, which is good. We'll be able to see how it looks. This grass might be a little bit annoying, but we'll see how it looks once we've got the lights in. I'm just doing this for aesthetic reasons. I'm not sure how much of this will be seen, but we're not exactly in a shortage of wood at the moment, so this is something we can afford. So I'm going to go around, do this on every side and see how it looks once we're done. And just like that, we have all of the lights in. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how this is looking. We're going to need to do some sort of lighting up here. I'm not exactly sure how I want to light up this path yet. I'll probably figure that out once I've done the wall in the next episode, just see how this looks and how I want the lights on this to look. It'll maybe just be pillars coming up here with some headlights on them in each direction, but I'm pleased with how this is looking. Hopefully once we get the wall up next episode, we'll be able to start actually growing crops on it and work towards probably getting the spud shotgun next. Not exactly sure what I want to grow first, but we'll figure that out in the next one. Or the one after, I'm not sure. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys all for watching. I'll probably be uploading again tomorrow. Sorry again for not uploading yesterday, but as I said, I spent quite a lot of time gathering resources and was also kind of busy with some stuff that I need to do at the moment. But anyway, yep, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.